Alessandro Iuppa, Senior Policy Advisor for International Issues at Zurich. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us today.
My pleasure, Anthony.
Just three short questions for you. Firstly, what do you expect to get from today's meeting?
In terms of looking at the agenda, it's a varied agenda, obviously, but it's covering all the relevant and most pertinent issues that we in the insurance sector are facing right now, ranging from the GSIIs, globally significant firms, group supervision. Tomorrow we'll be hearing even about the banking sector, which, while we don't think we ought to be supervised as the banks are with the same rules, it's very important for us to be aware of what is happening in that sector as well.
How applicable, therefore, do you think the rules for GSIIs are from banking across to insurance?
In general, they're not. Banking, the balance sheet is viewed from one perspective predominantly on the asset side, whereas in the insurance sector, we're more focused on the liabilities, and it is a very different business model. We don't make use of short-term funding and the like, and it is just, it's fundamentally different. And from a supervisory regulatory perspective, those regimes ought to reflect those differences between the two sectors.
What are the implications of the US GSII process for the global level, do you think?
I think that remains to be seen. Obviously, the US market is a very significant market. It's essentially the only other jurisdiction that has a formal review process for designated significant financial institutions. I would hope that when it comes to the insurance aspects of that, especially as they work towards developing a capital regime for those U.S. firms who are going to be subject to the Federal Reserve, that there would be some symmetry to what's happening at the global level and vice versa.
If there's one message that you think really needs to be available to the outside world, maybe to central bankers, to regulators, supervisors, the rest of the world outside the insurance industry, what would that message be?
I think the message would be to look at the financial services sectors as separate and distinct operations, whether you're talking about the banking sector, whether you're talking about insurance, securities, or some other aspects of it, and make the effort to better understand, take advantage of the expertise that resides at the IAIS from a supervisory perspective, and don't be reluctant to engage the market participants as well as part of that education process.